record. You never know. Okay. So let me share this. So can everybody see this?
Mm-hmm.
Yes? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So if you look at this contract, what you realize that might be different if you've worked with us before is now we're really employing every single person across all our 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 brands here. Michelle, I thought we had 6. Why do we say 6? I don't know. Anyway, these 4 brands are all coming under Leaders of Tomorrow, and you get a position contract that will explain how that all works. But generally speaking, for your positions, you're all qualified now, at least in contract intention, to by the end of your course to be a junior facilitator. And what that means is it's a technician seat. You're in the operations department, mainly under Leaders of Tomorrow group. Law 360 group. When you're operating in the technical seat, you'll be reporting to the brand manager and also reporting to me there. But I feel like my main role when I work with you guys is I'll be like a support person in terms of helping equip you like a facilitator. Yeah. So I'm just more of a seasoned facilitator within our business. Doesn't mean you guys don't know anything. It's just the way we do things, what I want you guys to learn. So just basically you'll be getting this, but it's just something I wanted to go through at this stage. So to make sure that expectations are real, is the summary of a facilitator is someone who's required to discover the Leaders of Tomorrow culture. And like I said, it's one thing to see it, it's another thing to be in it, and way of doing business. This is very important for us. But the person delivering the workshops or facilitating events is also responsible for delivering the content to the clients, be it in a workplace training and or in a coaching session, should you want to do that. So the contract that we're gonna hopefully get you guys to sign is gonna go for a 90-day window, because that's pretty much how long we think it might take you to finish your probation. But what we expect there are things like a positive attitude and adherence to 3 core values, because this is where we have problems with people, but this is where we also get along very well. So we put core values at the top. I like that Prana also mentioned about the big game. The big game is about how do we play the game. You know, if you imagine any sport, you could play soccer like anybody else, but the professionals tend to come up and really not just play to win, but they play to also have a good time. So that's why we think playing a game is important. There's other things there, like making sure you can submit to individual weekly reports. So this is very important. In case you don't know, our business closes tomorrow, Friday, 12:30 p.m. And what that means is in every single department, everyone has an independent call with the person they report to. In your case, you'll be reporting to me. So if, say, once things get very busy, we're still going to work that out. We just talk about everything that's going on for you. So it doesn't have to be in the business, which we call the seat, like your own job. Could be something that came up in your personal life. Could be maybe some issue you have with the company. That's a place for you to report that so we can try and solve it for you, okay? So in terms of other duties and responsibilities, we're pretty serious about training and development. And, you know, we are going through a series at the moment where I want everybody to get training from us. But at least for you guys as contractors, perhaps we might be just trying to commit to one leadership meeting for now, once a week, where you just be getting trained on certain things about your job. But in your case, we're going to do, I think it's 2 sessions per week for 2 weeks, which is 4 sessions in total. And that's the training that you're going to get for now. And then we'll see what you need from there. Okay. So just more importantly, and like anything else, the most important part about being a contractor is that our business, we don't pay people per hour. Like I said, we pay people for the project. And so what we're aiming to build a brand to do is that each of you guys can commit to or make time for at least 2 events per month. So that could be a workshop being run for 60 minutes, 90 minutes. It could be running, you know, a workplace training program, but at least if you have an expectation for yourself to do 2 a month, that's kind of the minimum commitment we're expecting. And then if there's anything that you're working on that you think could be updated or you want to contribute to it, we feel like, having a goal to try out a workshop when you're doing one of these 2 events, if there's anything we need to update or there's a spelling error or you think it wasn't communicated well, we really would love you to give us some feedback, and we have a link on that so we can help you, okay? So the most important thing when it comes to training is, for now, you're going to go through watching the, going through the facilitation, okay? Where you be, I think it's actually 3 stages, yeah? So first you'll be actually doing the study training, and that's the FAP online course, okay? And then the shadowing is where you'll be coming to one of my events, and then you'll be just sitting in the back. But what I want you to do is not just get there and enjoy it like a customer, write questions on maybe, why do I say this? Or why did I pause there? Or why did I challenge that person? So you can learn about this thing we call posture. Okay, facilitation posture, it's very important. And then the buddying process is where you guys will also get into a group. You're already 4 of you, I think, or 5 of you. And you'll be supporting each other in some of the homework as we go through the course. So it's going to be quite intensive, but we're going to form a council group, like a WhatsApp group, and then you guys will be assigned some homework. But I would love you to take it further and, challenge yourselves to practice with each other as you go. So that's what we call the buddying process. And you have Michelle reminded me to talk about this with Michael, but we have what we call a ELOT, which is just a group of 5 people catching up regularly on some of the work. Okay, so in terms of basic knowledge, I think all of you are okay with this. We're happy. Like I said, English is not a big issue, but it's just about competency in reading the contracts. The skills I expect are very, very basic. But the one thing, like I said, is very, very important is, we have a lot of content now that's very important to us, and we don't mind when some of you guys, if you have ambitions to use some of our content for your own coaching businesses, that's still really good. But like I said, just get into a good habit of seeking written permission from us, okay? Because what happened in the past is some people just go ahead and use the content, they don't ask us. Then some of it has happened where some people saw our logo, so they came back making complaints on someone else who delivered our content without our consent, and then we had to fix the mess, but it looked really bad, and I got very hurt by it, to be honest, because all these people needed to do is just ask us, and we probably would have granted them the permission. And in case you guys don't know, there's some schools now in Bali using some of our entrepreneurial programs, for example. They're not paying for it, but I love that they came and asked us. So when they don't, then obviously we're going to have to take some legal action. But I really don't think it needs to come to that, because it's just about trusting each other. Is that okay with everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so feel free to ask. It's always good, and 9 out of 10 times the answer will be yes. So what Michelle expects from you, at least we expect from you, is now later on just sign this position contract if you're happy with everything. The main results we've already put here, okay, in terms of expectations. I think, Michelle, what might be missing here somewhere, unless I missed it, is there somewhere where it talks about to check the remuneration of workshops ranging from $20 to $80 per workshop? Somewhere in here somewhere should say that.
Remuneration. Yes.
Yeah, so just add that, because then as people want to get more pathways to get promoted, then so Michelle will add that later, so that you guys know what you're signing up for. But like I said, you don't have to wait for 2 months.
So there was actually a couple of questions when it came to, I went over that in the first step of the interview process.
Okay.
And a few questions came up, so maybe we can go over them later, yeah?
Yeah. I think that's all I wanted to cover. So the remuneration is in there. Is this? No, I think that's on the onboarding where I go through the process manual. Yeah, it's not on this. It's not in this interview, is it?
Yes. It's not in this one. It's in the onboarding.
Okay, sorry, I get excited. Okay,
maybe you can begin. You can refer to the
welcome back.
What is it? You can refer to the process manual at the moment when it comes to the remuneration.
Okay, let me do that. So yeah, you guys will get what we call a welcome pack anyway, and that goes through a bit of this, but we have a process manual that I'll go through when you get onboarded after you finish your online course. obviously, because this is now more like the mechanics of how we do everything. But it's very, very organized, thanks to Michelle. So I'll just show you what it looks like, but it's not something to get like overwhelmed by. But it helps you perform about 10 times better, because rather than waiting for me to answer every single question, you just kind of go through it for yourself. So can everyone see that? Yes? Okay, so this is like what we call, I don't know if you've seen Lion King, that's where I actually got it from, not very creative. But I loved how Lion King was the movie. The kid asked the father, you know, what's the meaning of life or whatever he asked, I don't know. But the dad said, well, you know, even though the lions are at the top of the food chain, they'll eat the antelope, and one day they die, they end up being the grass, and then the grass gets eaten by the antelope, and the antelope gets eaten by the lion, and that's just the circle of life. And not saying that's a good example for this, nobody's eating anybody. But what I love about our business, my friends, is we don't really encourage anyone with, Michelle will tell you this, I'm a little bit allergic to people giving me a high title, calling me sir or boss, because it's really not about that. We follow what we call accountability. I would love for anyone who is ambitious enough to take over my CEO seat, but the main responsibility of the CEO is to make sure business is coming in so that you can pay the salaries. And a lot of people, when you put it that way, they don't want the position, right? So too often in businesses, most people don't understand it's more about responsibility and accountability than just, well, you're the boss and sit back and do nothing. So anyway, the beautiful thing is this. So you guys already went through this, but this is just how important it is. We always start with core values and we end with core values. And so this is just to remind you that we're playing the game through the dojo. But this is the part that Michelle was referring to. In our company, I don't know if you've seen this before. Have you shown this to anyone, Michelle? Or this is the first time?
No, this is the first time.
Okay, cool. So you see this later, you get a copy of all this, yeah? But what I want to put your attention to is, let's just say, for example, you are interested now in the training position. Can you guys see my arrow, yeah? At the bottom here, there's the contractor for facilitators. Junior facilitators get paid $20. Then senior facilitators have to have done a minimum. Has this been updated, Michelle, with percentages yet? I don't think I saw that.
No, you still have the PDF file.
Oh, you send that later, yeah? Okay, so 2.5, 20 hours of facilitation gets you at least to have a check-in with me, and then I'll know whether I can call you a senior facilitator. What's the difference between the two? Is after 20 hours of doing workshops, you've probably gone through every single scenario possible, and I feel you have the posture to control the room and still get us at least an 8 out of 10 in customer satisfaction. So just write that down, because the way we assess you isn't by what I think. It's not even by what you think. It's by whatever experience the collective group in the audience think you did in terms of delivering the workshop and making sure you went through what needed to go through, and they enjoyed that experience. And so the feedback will be coming from them, and the average is what we're looking at to be at least 8 out of 10. And if it's 8 out of 10, then chances are you'll be a senior, because then I can be reassured that you be satisfying. Like I think it was Prana saying that we focus on our customer satisfaction in this company and we measure it out of 10. So if you're doing 8 out of 10 more consistently, then we can trust that we're going to get good business and we'll have a good reputation out there. So I don't need to worry. But when you're a junior facilitator, chances are you're still building up and you're going to make a lot more mistakes. You might get a 7 out of 10 in satisfaction. That's still okay. 6 out of 10 is still okay. It's just for me, if it's 6 out of 10, we go extra mile. We're probably going to run another workshop for them for free. And I'll come in and shadow with them, with you guys on that. And that's still not a problem. We encourage mistakes here. Michelle will tell you I'm the biggest mistake there is in the company. We laugh about these sort of things. So it's about, I think, like you guys said, playing the game of turning your weakness into your strength. So we're not looking for perfectionists. We're just looking for progress, okay? But what I'm hoping for some of you who have a good vision is you're going to start looking at being at least a junior executive. The difference with the junior executives is you start running corporate clients at the traction level. And at the traction level, you're dealing with people who are making at least $100,000 and above. These people really need you to tell them straight. And, they like it like that. So, and the price points are a lot higher. So at least for that, I think you deserve at least a higher than minimum wage per workshop. Then the senior executive is $70. But I guess where I'm going is I want to find out who can be like at least a veteran. That's the position I've given myself. I don't know if it's accurate or not, but I can pretty much run from a junior program all the way through to the end. And when I say veteran, is you also have the ability to start improving things for the company. And that's what we're kind of looking at. But I think it takes about 2 years. But by then, I think after senior executive, you move into business coaching. And the difference with that is you start to talk to people more about how to recreate systems and stuff like that. It's not necessary at this stage. So our whole business is pretty well structured in that way. And as a contractor, you have opportunities to make quite a bit of money. But if you are like, look, Aaron, I'm actually pretty curious about, you know, going through the career path with you guys, and maybe I'll do part-time contracting, but I'm also interested in working in the company because I want to make some regular income. We're still very open, but you can see here, like the technicians, which is a different pathway. We don't have like you've been in the company 10 years, therefore you get paid a lot of money. We don't have that. We just get paid by the seat. So you guys have a technician seat, but it's different because it's contract work. Yeah. But in terms of all of us in our company, if you want to know, even for myself, what's available for a CEO, managing director, this is the income. But people say, well, that's low or high. It doesn't make a difference. What we're looking at is we want to achieve our sales targets. And when we do, we start profit sharing for every single person in the company. And that's where you can make quite a bit of money because, like I said, if you're a technician and we make money and you're employed by us, you'll be getting 5% of the pool of how much money the whole company made within the quarter. And we pay that every 3 to 4 months when we hit targets. So why I designed it this way is I want everyone to benefit almost like a customer as well, because if the company wins, we all win. So the bottom line, like I'm saying here, is we're very clear on how we pay people, but anyone can basically come into the company and within, like Michelle is one of our success stories, you know, within 6 months, she was already a manager because she had emotional intelligence to manage people. This is what we're looking for. We don't pay people based on qualification because we can train you on how to do that. So does anyone have any questions on either the contract pathway for the facilitators or anything about the employment pathway as well? But it's all kind of mapped up there. Any questions for anyone?
I do have some question.
Yeah, go on, Prana.
In the contract, I read to generate leads, which I don't understand, and convert traffic into leads, which I also don't understand. Yeah, those two.
So you read in the contract that there's an opportunity to generate leads and to convert leads. Is that right? Yeah. So yeah, good question. So there really isn't an obligation for anyone to generate a contract leads. But what happens is if you're a facilitator, I'll just show you guys this and you'll get a copy of this anyway. As a facilitator, you are in front of the customer, and sometimes customers get such good reviews. Actually, most times they get such good reviews with us that they always say things like, hey, I have a cousin who would really benefit from doing a communications workshop with you. Can I give you their number? They might end up giving the facilitator because they trust them. So this might be one way of generating a lead. Does that make sense? So that's
something about like recommendation, like recommending.
Yeah, it's happening after your great facilitation. So you're almost acting like a marketing tool because you've given great service. People want that. But in the other event, and I think it was Lydia who mentioned this, is she might not have the content or the infrastructure to deliver. To deliver certain coaching programs for herself. So she might use one of our topics, but it's still her business. So she's also then responsible for getting the client. And if it's her client that she wants to facilitate for, because she's a contractor, she can still white label our content, deliver it on our behalf. The client obviously pays us, but she'll be getting paid a referral fee because it was her who did the marketing to get that client. So depending on the programs, you guys can see there, 9 out of 10 times in your role, you guys will be pretty busy. Michelle, do we have workplace training here? I can't see it. I never looked at this actually. That's curious. Can you see it? I don't think it's there. Okay. Michelle, are you there? I can't hear you.
You mean on the affiliate form?
Yeah, the one I'm sure.
Hello?
Yeah.
You mean on the affiliate form?
Yes, correct.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Can you put a note that we need to add workplace training programs and commissions, similar format? Yeah. So anyway, so let's just say there's workplace training there or not. You do a workshop.
Okay.
The client and yours, because you brought them in. So like Lydia was suggesting this, there'll be a fee. It's probably be closer to anything that's close to say $1,000 or thereabouts. We have a program that's close to that somewhere. Anyway, so let's just say it's $499. Some of them start at $399. So Lydia then would get a $29 referral fee, but because she's also a person that wants to do the business, she'll still get paid $20 for the coaching session. For the workshop. But if she's the one that closes the whole deal, she'll get $99 because we didn't get involved. All we did was just give her access. Okay, so we pay on top of that as well. Okay, so in answer to your question, Prana, is the reason we say there's a referral opportunity is sometimes our facilitators can do a good job. Can everyone hear me? Yeah, you could do a good job, and the client inside the office, who's our client, will say, hey, we have a referral for you. Or number two, you bring in the business yourself and run the whole project yourself, and then just using our infrastructure. So that way you get paid commissions. You might find one person you know wants to do another program, then at least you know if you can't sell it, you refer it to our marketing team, they'll close the deal, you just pick up a referral fee. Okay, so at least you know what's available. But in some cases, you could do the whole thing if you're comfortable with selling, then you just stand to make a lot more money. Okay, so this is just all the programs that are available. Does that answer your question, Rana?
Yeah. I mean, probably it's only my limited English. Like traffic, is it the vehicle term? Or yeah, now I understand.
Yeah, because most customers usually refer after they've had a good service with us. That's usually how it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Lydia, I was using you as an example because you mentioned you had some referrals for workplace training or topics like that. But did I also answer your question? Because some people ask, what's the conditions? How much you get paid? This is our commission structure for all our products. We're just missing workplace training. I think we have 3 products in there, but they're between $399 and $1,000, I think, Michelle, right? But we'll add that in the updated version. Lydia, Putu, do you have any questions? Or Eunice?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay. So this is where it gets also very exciting. Let's say you want to get coaching yourself from us. You can not get the cash and just trade it in for credits. And then we can swap those credits internally for you, and you get coaching as well if you want. So a lot of you guys in the past, I know, asked for more coaching and Like I said, we're just very, very organized now, and we have programs already hosted online. So it's not guesswork. But if you want to access those for yourself, you still can. And Michelle will tell you, once a week, we're dedicating time to train everyone at the position they're in. But if you want to get more training, you can also exchange your commissions for credits. We have no problem. We have people doing that all the time. Okay, so that's all I was going to share about that. But the last thing that you hear more about is this process manual is very organized to a point where if you want to know more about your position in terms of what does it take day to day, you can go here. You see we have facilitator. Scroll down to page 23 or more or less. I can go straight to 23. There'll be more of this on the onboarding. But let's just give you an example. Actually, Michelle, I tried this once. I think they're not quite completely page sensitive, yeah? Might have to redo that. Okay, so there's facilitator on page 31. So you can see the same, remember in your position contract, it says 2 events. Remember that, guys? Yeah? Okay. Wonderful.
Yes.
So you can see in your position contracts, 2 events. In here, we call them rocks. Rocks just means what's the number you need to focus on every week. It's running 2 events for yourself if you can. So that at least if you calculate that, $20 times 2 is $40 per week times 4 is $160 a month. Okay, so it's not a lot of money, but for a couple of hours of work, I think it's not too bad, particularly if you don't have to do anything much apart from just deliver what's already there. So for us, we're thinking that at least if you're enjoying yourself and having a good time, you should be able to get that level of work as well. And that's what we're trying to build when we get our sales team. But there's processes of, you know, how does a trainer do it? We've got some steps in here, but what I'm saying to you guys, which is one of my expectations, is I used to do this and I put this up. You can see the start results, standards, and but some of this information is what we used to do. So some of it is outdated. So if you go in there, you try a process, you find out we don't use it anymore, please put a comment in there in your own manual, send it to operations, and they'll update it, because we actually need some new people in there to see it, because I know what I see, but I'm also stuck in doing it my way. So having you guys in is, we're also very excited that you can come in and improve these processes based on what we're doing now, because there's some of them might be a little bit updated, or outdated. Okay, so you see more of this, but on the right hand side, this is the last point I wanted to mention, is we have certain software apps or places for you to communicate certain things, like update Facilitator agent tool. You have to send a WhatsApp call. If you need access to tools, you find them on Google Drive, you see. If you want access to a video or script of your presentation or coaching plan, you find it on Google Drive. You know, date, venue, time. This is for doing it physically. For now, I think a lot of stuff will be on Zoom, so you might not need a lot of that. Okay, so I won't go into this too much detail, but I just want to tell you, like, all of this is found in one book called The Circle of Life, and it also has an explanation for you on any other position. So say you want to become the CEO, these are my job descriptions. Can you guys see that? So you can figure out, if you want to get good at doing a position like mine, you can start training up and getting the skills. We really don't care. Everything is open and transparent, but you got to bring in the sales. Okay, and you got to do this, key partnership meetings and all this sort of stuff, because this is the expectation we have of the CEO. Michelle, if you can just add in your notes, maybe you and I need to have a quick meeting on just updating some of the rocks in the process manual, yeah? Because I think we're a lot clearer on the numbers now, and we can put those for every position in there, okay? Yeah, unless you guys have any other questions, I don't want to go into too much. You'll get this more in the onboarding, because, you know, we have a very clear process for every single position. That's all you need to know. And we build that all in so everybody gets a copy, and you can have as much ambition as you like or as little as you like, but it all kind of works out that way. Okay, coolio, coolio. All right, cool. So I'll finish on that. Oh, whatever that's, okay. I'll finish on that, but now maybe I'll take a couple of questions. Is that right, Michelle? Just in case anyone has any questions about the facilitator role, the process manual tool, or any of that.
I don't have it either. So Lydia has a question.
Yes.
Regarding the IELTS test. I think she's having trouble with her audio because she tried to reach out, but I guess we couldn't hear her. So she has a question about the IELTS test. She hasn't done it before, or, well, I haven't either. So could you just touch base on the IELTS test?
Yeah, I haven't done it either.
Yeah, Eunice hasn't done it either. Nobody's done it but me. I suffered with it. So basically the reason I just put IELTS there is probably once we go international, and it's a test that's usually done that helps people migrate to different countries to standardize them in terms of basic English spoken, written, and literal. So it's just a standard I was using, because otherwise it would be IGCSE or Cambridge Examination Standard, which is another standard. But the general international rule says is your English above 7. I can basically have a conversation with you and I can tell you all of you are over 7 because I can understand what you're saying in English. But it doesn't mean you have perfect English. That's not what we're looking for, okay? Because in facilitation, it's not teaching. It's very different. Facilitation is about making connections. So a basic comprehension in a basic English, or even for me, well, actually, I'm probably a 6 in the Indonesian standard. No, not even 6, maybe a 4. But for whatever reason, I worked in Indonesian companies because my broken bahasa with English still gets me to get through my facilitation, and everyone gets the value, see? Because it's more about my posture. That's what I'm trying to get across. So short answer, Lydia, you don't need to do the IELTS test. Long answer is we're probably keeping it there for people who we may never get a chance to interview, and they're sending through their resume, telling us I've done IELTS with a score, then chances are we won't have to have a question on how's your English going. Then we'll just assume it from the assessment. Does that make sense? Okay, Lydia's gone. Can't hear Lydia for some reason. Yes. Oh, okay, cool.
You put it in the chat. She said yes.
Okay, great, thanks. Okay, any other questions on position contract mainly? Because that's the main part for today. Before we finish.
Yeah, one question.
Yeah, you can ask a million questions. Go ahead.
Okay. In the contract, I read the updated presentation. Does that mean I need to present? How is it going? Like once monthly?
Yeah. So like say you do a workplace training with a client and you're using a presentation that's a bit old, and then you know we can need to update it, then you just make sure you check for the updated version. So you could get that from any department, but you just don't assume an old one is the current one. We might change a logo, we might change a title, but you want to make sure that it's updated and it's the most modern. So you're always checking the presentations in there to make sure that the last update is the latest. Does that make sense?
No, I see.
Sorry, was that yes, no? Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. And you find them all on Google Drive. We use Google Sheets or Google Slides or something like that. But you can download it into PDF on any computer. So you always have the updated. I think Eunice, you can share. You've tried that before, yeah? You've done some presentations in Zambia, but you guys had copies of some presentations, yeah? Still accessible, but okay for you?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to share how easy, hard, or complicated it was? What was the process for you to access them?
It wasn't complicated. I think, and also the fact that we had the team always available to help where you're not understanding what to do. But it was pretty easy. It's in Google Slides.
Google Slides, yeah. And you also had a video to watch before you did the presentation to see how to present every slide in case you want to take sheet notes and stuff, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah. So for Putu, Lydia, and Prana, just so you know, I mean, when you guys probably came early days, I remember Putu was probably one of my first interviews on a facilitator before I even knew what I was talking about. So I apologize, Putu. I probably traumatized you. I remember that meeting. It was at that office we had downstairs in that funny hotel. But anyway, the beautiful news is every topic we have a presentation has a video already recorded. And so what some trainers do is they just take some notes on bullet points on what each slide says, and they basically just read out the notes. This is still okay. Okay, we're not here to look like you know everything. You're just following the presentation slides. And then it also helps because the client, after we finish the presentation, gets access to the video. So any question from any of you guys on that? This was never available before, but we tested it out in England. In what country was that? In Zambia. And it worked really well. Eunice has done a presentation. I think Melissa was another one who did a few presentations at Tribe Hut, yeah? Eunice?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah. So how long did it take for you think?
Yes, that's how we did it.
Yeah. How long did it take for you guys to be confident or enough to do it? Because I was never there. So you guys did it and it seemed the reviews looked good. So you must have done something right.
Yeah, well, initially what we'll do, because the two of us, is that we'll do a mock test with the presentation, and we also had the templates and the timestamp of how the meeting should run, so that we're able to follow that. And then as we do the meeting, we just make sure that you stick to the timestamp and go through the topics and the slides. It was pretty straightforward.
That's good. Did you run into any challenges for just the guys who've never worked with us? I wasn't there. Or what challenges did you have?
No, I think it was just the matter of getting confidence yourself as a facilitator, especially when you do it in front of people. I don't know how the online experience will be, But when you've got an actual physical number of 20 to 40 people and they're doing it for the first time, it's a bit intimidating if you're scared of talking to crowds.
So how did you overcome that?
Practice. And just being sure that you know what the topic, thoroughly going through it and understanding it and being confident that you're able to deliver.
That's good. So guys, if you have any questions, just speak to Eunice because she's done some on her own. And I can tell you she went through the accreditation the first time with us and it was very basic. I think we spent a few days maximum. So this course that you guys are getting is a lot more support and a lot more practiced and refined information. But at the end of the day, it still works because it's just about trying and going the extra mile, like Putu said, yeah? And just having fun with the practice. We're not expecting perfection. We're just looking for people who want to give it a go, have a heart to help people, learn something in the experience and build your own confidence, yeah? So it's not really that big a deal. And, you know, we're all going to improve from there. So it's good fun. All right, cool. Anyone else have any other questions? Thanks, Eunice, for that feedback. I never ever asked you that question, actually, so that was good to know. Thanks for sharing.
Okay, you're welcome.
Putuchinta, you have any questions? I think you're the only one I haven't heard from.
Listening, not at the moment. Maybe later
Sure?
on. I have millions of questions.
Yeah, I know you always have millions of questions. You're going to be texting me at 1 o'clock with these questions, or you're going to ask now?
Not at the moment.
Okay. All right, it's cool. So yeah, all I'm saying, guys, is there's so much support, and the team is here. We've done this already, so there's no guesswork. We like that. Actually, one more thing.
I have a question.
Okay. Yeah. Shoot.
Sorry. When the workshops actually do start, is it that you're going to do us region by region, or that I would also be able to facilitate some of the courses that are maybe going on in Bali or going on in the UK? Is there a time difference kind of thing to it?
Yeah, good question. So the answer now that we're on Zoom is it's global. So it just depends on the project you can take up and the time frame that you have. So, but we have some really regular ones. I think maybe you were there, Eunice, or you weren't, I can't remember. But we know for a fact the, what is it? The free workshop is a workshop that we want a facilitator to run regularly. That happens once a month, the first week of the month. The second is the coffee meeting. The coffee meeting,
okay.
We both go for 90 minutes, but coffee meeting is the beach breakfast thing. If you remember that, we did that in Zambia. So that's now going to be run by one facilitator. And
yes.
for a while, we're just focusing on that. We have, what else do I have? We have the workplace training programs, and this is where things get really busy because as clients come on, they get coaching, they start accessing workshops from us. So that's where those topics are also there. So effectively right now we have 3 contracts, I think, and each of them are running at least 1 to 2 events or workshops with us. One is the main topic. The second is just a revision of the same topic, right? That's a kind of format that seems to be working for particularly Indonesia and Kenya. And so it'll be like 2 events per month. Okay. So let's say, for example, we take on a new client. Not generally speaking, if it's a specific topic, we're looking at assigning that topic and the follow-up workshop to one person. Yeah, so that group of staff or people have the same face. This is for workplace training. But the next month, it could be a different type of group of people. And they need maybe, say now, instead of setting goals, they want leadership topics. So someone else would do the workshop, and then someone else would do the same person would do the follow-up. So we tend to keep it the same workshop and follow-up to one facilitator. But once we have 3 companies, in answer to your question, one could be in Kenya, one could be in Zambia, one could be in America. Whoever wants the time slot just picks it, but at least you commit to a follow-up in the main session. And they're usually about a week apart, okay? because people need time to learn, and then they need time to go away
Okay.
assessments, and they'll come back in for revision, ask questions, and you just facilitate and answer them based on contextualizing it to the individual. Yeah. So that's what we're looking at. So as we take on more companies, it just depends on you. But I sense for you, Indonesia tend to like to do workshops, workplace training workshops. We're finding for the companies, it'll be between 15 hours to 18 hours Bali time, because that's like at the end of people's work time or first thing in the morning. But when it's a private company that's just doing workshops and letting people pay for tickets to come into a talk, they tend to be about this time in the night. Okay, because they're also thinking of the international clients coming in. So it depends. But when it comes to our internal events, we're doing them around this time as well, because it's just more universally acceptable around the world. Yeah. So I don't know if this is convenient time for you, but that's what I think will be the staple in most cases for everybody.
Okay, that works.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Awesome. Good question. Good question on that.
Just, with the challenges that we have in Africa, just internet, and it's okay.
Yeah, no, you're right. And we found though with the African events in general, like Kenya, which is booming, we're doing events on Saturdays for accommodating for people on working situation. So it tends to be Saturday, 10 o'clock in the morning to 12 African time or Kenyan time, right? So that's kind of what seems to be in demand over. So when we do it from that side of town, we probably consider weekends as well in that time slot. But for us Indonesians, guys, it's about 3 p.m. our time was when I did the last African events. But they're all in English, yeah? So all of you can speak English, so that's fine. It won't be in Swahili or any of the other languages. Don't worry about that too much.
Okay, I think it's fine, because if it's 2 a week or you're doing 1 a week, you can always schedule your time around it.
No, it's not full time.
So 1 hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah. You're looking at 90 minutes and then allow another 30 minutes for question and answers if you can't get through the content. And usually when it's new, you either speak too fast or too slow. You tend to use up the whole 90 minutes, but once you get good at it, you can wrap it up in about 1 hour, 15 minutes, and then people ask a few questions in the last 15. But you always say, hey, we can cover that in the follow-up. So the magic is keep it to 90 minutes. Then people are still fresh on Zoom. At worst, push it to 2 hours maximum. But after 2, people are a little bit not so interested in staying online. Yeah. So we find under 2 hours is the magic formula.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, great questions. Anybody else have any questions? Michelle, do you want to add or finish off on anything? That's all I wanted to share. And then maybe next steps.
Okay, so thank you everyone for the questions. And looking over the position contract ahead of time. So now on to the next steps. Erin, do you need a discussion before we begin, or are you okay with everyone to continue?
I'm okay with everyone to continue.
Okay, great. So now that everyone has gone through the position contract, and now that we've gone over the position contract together, the next steps are to I'll send you the updated position contracts in the group, and please look over them. Should you have any questions, please let me know or let Erin know, and we will get back to you. But if you don't have any questions, then kindly send back the position contract after signing it, and then we can begin with the induction process. Yeah, and also we will immediately begin with the training next week. Erin, do we have a day on what day we'd like to begin the training?
Yeah, I think we were looking at, if it's possible, because we're trying to squeeze in a month in 2 weeks, was Wednesdays. Yeah, Wednesdays at 7 to 8:30 or 9 o'clock. And I think the other one was supposed to be. Hold on a second. I think we were discussing this. I think it was Wednesdays and Thursdays. So
Okay.
just check with your schedules if that's okay, because we need 2 weeks per week. 2 days per week, but it'll be about
2 days.
and then we can kind of get it all done within 2 weeks. But
Okay.
yeah, we might have to spread it out. So I'm talking nonsense. Because if we
Okay.
do 2 weeks at a time, I was just thinking about this. You need a few days to finish one course and then a few days to do the whole next course. So perhaps if it's possible, let's start with Wednesday for the first module. But I would like everyone maybe to, when we set up the group, or send a message to I think it was Shanti who booked this, or Michael. Try and find another date where you have it 48 hours before the next session, because we're going to go through it quite quickly. Yeah. So my concept is better we have at least one free day in between. So when we finish one, you have a day to watch the next one, and then do a bit of your homework. And then by the second day, we go through the coaching questions, and then move on to the following week. You have some time to catch up. Then the next Wednesday, you catch up again and do it that way. So if we do it back to back, day to day, I think you have time to finish your modules. So what do you guys think? So basically, I'm proposing every 3 days. We do something.
Once every 3 days.
Wednesday and maybe Saturday, or making myself busy here, but I guess it's just for 2 months. But something like that. Wednesday, Saturday, but not Sunday. Yeah? We got family and priorities, but we can't do Mondays generally. But we perhaps could do a Tuesday and a Thursday maybe, but something like that. Yeah. Just saying, I think we need a few days in between. What do you guys think? We want to send through some suggestions. Prana, Lydia, Putu.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
It's just 2 weeks of intent.
Send through some suggestions.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, this month Tuesdays and Fridays don't work for me.
Okay. So I think that's how we came up with Wednesday. I saw that come through the feed somewhere. So maybe a Wednesday and you said Tuesday and Friday. Okay. So maybe a Wednesday. Do you say Tuesday and Friday work, or Tuesday and Friday don't work?
Tuesday and Friday don't work.
Okay. So yeah, so maybe like Wednesday and Saturday, just if everyone can look into their schedule, find a time that later the better, obviously, for Africa. But
wait, am I on mute? Oh, okay, no. Weekends don't work for you. Only weekdays.
Okay. Maybe send all your messages of your preferences with like 2 date scenarios. Say ideally Wednesday is good, Friday doesn't, Thursday is okay, whatever, something like that. So we'll pick something that works, and then maybe we'll work it out. If it comes down to a fact that we have to do back to back, then I guess we just have to do back to back, my friends. But the video watching is only 1 hour, yeah? So it's not a lot of work, but sometimes it's nice to take a break from one course to another, that's all. So we'll work it out. So we will make that announcement by tomorrow, if that's okay, once I look at the dates and the times with Michelle. But as it stands, Eunice, just put the dates you can't do.
Okay.
And put the ideal dates, yeah? So everyone, if you can do that, and send them to Michelle directly. And then I'll also have to check, because at the moment I've got also a couple of questions all running. But this is really worth doing it as soon as possible. So I'll prioritize this.
Okay. So I guess just due to the urgency and need of training, so could you all please, once you confirm and look over the position contract, please send over the position contract once it's signed within 48 hours, along with your schedules of when you were able to conduct trainings, yeah, when you are available, and
not
your
available.
preference, and I will send that. Yes, when you are available and not available, and I will forward that to Aaron. And then once that's done, Erin will have the induction with all the facilitators. And this is where you will be given the welcome pack and the process manual, and you will begin your training.
Yeah. So we'll send out the
But
password.
other than that,
Go on, Michelle.
what's that? So you'll send out?
We'll send out access to the first module as soon as the contracts have been signed. Yeah. So you can have
Yep. Okay. Well, last and the next steps. So what we ask is just really a feedback of how you feel the interview went, what you liked and what you didn't like about the interview. Now, reason why we're always asking is because we always want to improve our systems, and one way of doing that is getting feedback from after every process. So we really appreciate all the feedbacks that we receive, and we try to take into consideration of how we can become better every time. Yeah. So please send me, it can be directly a feedback of how you felt this interview went, and maybe some of the things that could have been improved. We really appreciate your honest feedback.
Yes. And thank you, Michelle.
Thank you. So thank you so much, everyone. Erin, would you like to add anything?
No, just congratulations. I'm really excited to have you guys part of the family again. And let's go change the world. What can I say? It's exciting times.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, especially for the Indonesian tribe here. It is pretty late. Thank you for going the extra mile to making it this way. And thank you, Erin, for facilitating the meeting.
No, thank you. Thanks, Eunice, for joining in. Thanks, guys. Looking forward to getting started. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yes. Thank you. And for all facilitators, we will continue the communication in the groups. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Okay.
I'll send the
Thank you,
recording.
everyone.
All right, cheers. Bye. Bye.